United fans, buckle up, because this is one of those weeks. We've got Manchester United trying to hijack Arsenal's move for one of the hottest attacking talents in the Premier League. We've got Real Madrid handing Vinicius Junior an ultimatum, and United lurking in the background. And we've got a stunning U-turn in midfield as United walk away from one target and instantly turn their sights onto a Brazilian enforcer that Matheus Cunha himself is begging the club to sign. 3 stories. 1. Matchday-worthy transfer rollercoaster. Let's get into every single detail. If you're new here, welcome. This is your home for the deepest dive into every Manchester United transfer story. No fluff, no filler, just what's actually happening and what it means for Ruben Amorim's, for this United side, heading into next season. Smash that subscribe button, because this summer is about to get very, very interesting. Let's start with the story that's got Old Trafford buzzing. The Morgan Rogers hijack. Right, let's set the scene. Morgan Rogers has been one of the standout performers anywhere in Europe over the last 18 months. From championship loan spells to becoming Aston Villa's talisman, to lifting the Europa League as player of the season, to walking straight into England's World Cup squad, this is a player on an absolutely rocket ship trajectory. And here's the thing that should get every United fan sat up straight in their seat. Arsenal do not have this deal wrapped up. For weeks, the noise around Rodgers has been Arsenal, Arsenal, Arsenal. He's been described as their #1 target. But reports out this week make one thing very clear. There is still no formal offer on the table, and Aston Villa haven't even opened proper negotiations with anybody yet. Why? Because Villa's asking price is eye-watering. We're talking a valuation north of £100 million. Some reports even suggesting Villa want in excess of £116 million before they'll even sit down at the table. Think about that number for a second. That's not a, let's see if we can squeeze a bit more number. That's a statement. Villa are essentially saying, if you want our best player, you'd better be ready to smash the club's transfer record valuation clean out of the park. And this is exactly the kind of situation where Manchester United have a history of stepping in and turning a 2-horse race into a scrap. We've seen it before. A deal that looks nailed on for one club suddenly gets blown wide open because a big spender with genuine financial muscle decides they want in. So, who else is credited with interest? This isn't just United sniffing around for headlines. Reports from earlier in the summer had United, Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich all watching this situation closely. That tells you everything about the level Rodgers now operates at. This isn't a solid Premier League squad player. This is a genuine elite bracket attacking talent that the biggest clubs in world football are circling. Now let's talk about why United specifically makes so much sense for Rodgers. Point 1. The system fit. Rodgers is a number 10 in the purest sense. He drifts between the lines, he can carry the ball at pace, and crucially he's shown he can produce in the biggest moments. A Europa League final goal isn't nothing. United have been crying out for that spark of unpredictability in the final third for years now. Point 2. The timing. Rodgers is playing for England at the World Cup right now. Every touch, every performance is under a global spotlight. If he has even one standout tournament moment, that £116 million valuation doesn't come down. It goes up. United hijacking this now, before that valuation balloons even further, would be smart business, not panic buying. Point 3. Statement of intent. Let's be honest, part of the Manchester United rebuild under this ownership has been about proving to top players that this is a club going somewhere, not a club to avoid. Beating Arsenal to a player. Arsenal have been strongly linked with for months. That's not just a transfer, that's a message sent to every other target on United's list this summer. Now, I'll give you the balanced take here, because we always keep it real on this channel. Arsenal are still very much in pole position. They've been described as the clearest suitors all summer, and insiders close to the deal have suggested personal terms. Discussions with Rodgers' camp have been progressing. So this isn't a done deal for United by any stretch. But the fact that United are prepared to muscle into a deal at this valuation, against a rival who's already done a lot of the groundwork, that takes real ambition, and it's exactly the kind of ruthless business United fans have wanted to see from this hierarchy for a long time. Keep this one on your radar. This has twist in the story written all over it. Now let's talk about a name that would send shockwaves not just through Old Trafford, but through world football entirely. Vinicius Junior. Here's the situation. Vinicius and Real Madrid have been going back and forth over a new contract for months now. And to be clear, this is not a story about Vinicius wanting to leave Spain. By all accounts, he's more than happy in Madrid. He loves the club, the city, the project. This isn't a get me out of here situation, but, and this is the key detail, the two sides have not yet agreed a new deal. and Real Madrid have reportedly put him on notice, sign or risk being sold. That's about as blunt as it gets from a club of Madrid's stature. Now, why has this dragged on so long? 2 words: World Cup. With the tournament dominating everyone's focus this summer, contract renewal talks have effectively been parked. There's been no breakdown in negotiations, nobody's stormed out of a meeting, but there's also been no signature on a new deal. It's been frozen in place while the football takes centre stage. But here's why this matters for United fans specifically. Real Madrid are not a club that likes uncertainty hanging over their biggest assets. If this drags on much longer without a resolution, Madrid's stance could shift from "we want him to sign" to "if he won't sign, we cash in while his value is at its absolute peak." And when a release valve situation like that opens up on a player of Vinicius's level, only a handful of clubs on the planet can even have that conversation. Manchester United, according to reports, are among a small group of Premier League clubs actively keeping tabs on how this develops. Now, let's manage expectations here for a second. Realistically, Vinicius Junior ending up at Old Trafford this specific summer is a long shot. Financially, competitively, project-wise, there's a mountain to climb. But here's why it's still worth talking about. 1. The fact United are even mentioned in the same breath as a genuine Ballon d'Or calibre talent shows how this ownership group wants to be perceived. They want to be in the room for conversations like this, even opportunistically. 2. Situations like this can move fast. If Madrid decide they need certainty and Vinicius's camp start listening to offers, this could go from monitoring the situation to "here's a serious opportunity" in a matter of weeks, not months. 3. Imagine, just for a second, the statement a move like that would make. Vinicius Junior in a United shirt isn't just a transfer, it's a complete reset of how the football world views this club's ambitions. Now, is it likely? No, not this window, if we're being brutally honest. But is it worth watching? Absolutely. Big deals often start exactly like this. A contract standoff, a warning shot from the club, and a handful of Europe's biggest sides quietly positioning themselves in case the door creaks open. The Ederson U-turn and the João Gomes pivot. Okay, now onto the story that's actually moving the fastest of the 3. And this one's already had a genuine twist. Manchester United had a deal in place. Not a rumour, not interest. An actual agreed fee, reported around £35 to £40 million for Atalanta midfielder Ederson. Deal done, or so it seemed. Then it fell apart, and the reason is honestly one of the stranger subplots of the whole summer. Ederson got a late call-up to Brazil's World Cup squad, which meant he couldn't complete his medical before the tournament started. Once Brazil were eliminated, reports started to emerge from Brazilian media that his medical examination had thrown up concerns. And just like that, a done deal was undone. For a lot of clubs, that's a disaster. You plan your whole midfield rebuild around a signing, and suddenly you're back to square one weeks before the season starts. But watch how quickly United have responded here, because this is the part that should genuinely excite you. According to Brazilian outlet Globo, United didn't sit around sulking. They immediately pivoted, and the name they've turned their attention to is João Gomes of Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, if you don't know much about Gomes, let me paint the picture, because this guy is exactly the profile of midfielder United have been missing for years. He's a Brazilian international, 25 years old, an absolute dueling, tackling, ball-winning machine with well over 130 Premier League appearances already under his belt at Wolves. And here's a detail that should make every United fan smile. His former Wolves teammate, now United's own Matheus Cunha, has publicly called him unbelievable and compared his qualities to Casemiro. Read that again. A direct Casemiro comparison from a player who's already in the building and knows exactly what United need in that midfield.